Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are pleased to welcome you to this press conference where BK Group is going to announce Q1 2023 financial performance. Here in this call, we have our group CEO, Beata Habyarimana. We have Bank of Kigali CEO, Dr. Diane Karusisi, and we have our CFO, Anita Umuhire. And I'm the moderator. My name is Audrey Kazera. So our senior management here is going to take us through the performance of Q1 2023. And we invite you to share your questions after the presentation. We'll have a Q&A session, so you can raise your hand, or you can also share your question in the chat box, and we'll read it. So without further ado, I would like to invite our group CEO, Beata Habyarimana, for her opening remarks. Thank you.
Thank you, Audrey. Good morning. Thank you for attending our our call this morning, where BK Group is ready to announce its financial performance for Q1 2023. We are happy to confirm that we have had a good performance for the first 3 months of this year, 2023, despite of the macro economic context we are in. But just to give you a quick picture of where we are today, we are happy to see that we witness a declining in the inflationary pressures we have across the country, with an inflation going down compared to the last quarter, where from 19% it went down to 17%. And we have also been seeing that the prices of the goods have been also following the same trend, going at a lower rate. We are happy to see that with that, and the fact that we assume an improved performance of the agriculture for the second half of the year, the expected economic growth will remain sustainable and as expected for the figures. When it comes to the Rwandan exports as well, we have been witnessing a growth of 17%, though it brings to still again a trade deficit, but we stand strong as a financial institution in terms of foreign exchange revenues, where we have a big portion of the market. By today, we are happy to report that the financial results of Q1 2023 have recorded a net income of 17.9 billion Rwandan francs, meaning $16.2 million, with a strong return on assets and return on equity ratios. Our CFO will take us through them, but before, I would like just to give the floor to the bank CEO to give some highlights.
Thank you, Beata. Indeed, we've continued with good performance in the first quarter of this year. And the top line has been driven by an increase of close to 9% of our net interest income. But also, I think the major highlight of this past quarter was the improvement in our non-funded ratio and non-funded income that has increased by almost 80% year on year. We also have gross premium income increasing by 12.6%. This is the top line that has driven the performance of this quarter. We are, as Beata said, we are happy to post very healthy ratios in terms of net interest margin at 9.5%, an unfunded ratio at 29%, and a cost-to-income ratio that is around 40%, which is our target. Our return on equity as a group is at 22.2%, and a return on asset at 4%. I think this is what I can say, Beata, and probably Anita will take us through the details. Thank you.
Thank you, Diane, and good morning. I will take you through briefly the financial performance of the group for the first quarter of 2023. As can be seen, our profit after tax has increased by 14.5% year on year to mark 17.9 billion. And as mentioned, the good performance is mainly stemming from non-funded income that has grown by 79.7% year on year contributing about 17 billion to the bottom line. Still looking at non-funded income, we noticed that FX income is 4.8 billion, which is an increase of 61% year on year, mainly supported by a better net open position that allowed us to book some good deals. Fees and commissions are also up by 108%, which includes loan-related fees, merchant commissions, as well as LC opening fees. Looking at BK General Insurance, gross premiums are up by 12.6%, mainly on motor insurance. While at BK Capital, operating income is 236 million, up by 65% year on year, mainly due to a good performance on advisory services as well as fund management, which is evidenced by the assets under management that have grown by 30%. Still on unfunded income, BK Tech House sales grew by 54% to 389 million due to broadband products as well as digital platforms that performed better this quarter one. On net interest income, there's an increase, as mentioned, of 8.6% year on year, mainly due to better pricing of new loans, as well as the well-managed cost of funds that we've maintained at 3.8%. Looking at operating expenses, they are up they are 21.1 billion, which is a year-on-year increase of 24%, mainly due to card-related fees and maintenance cost, which speaks to increased business in our card increased performance in our card business. We also note that there's an increase of 20% in staff-related expenses, mainly due to planned recruitments as well as inflationary adjustments. Net provisions have increased by 4 billion due to staging migration of some key accounts that were on our radar, which has resulted in a cost of risk of 2.6%. Looking at our statement of financial position, you'll notice that our balance sheet has shrunk by 6.1% year on year compared to basically December 2022, mainly due to some short-term borrowings and interbank balances that matured at the beginning of this year. Customer deposits have also slightly reduced by 16 billion, mainly due to also pricing-related challenges. The decrease of our funding base has adversely affected our investments, mainly in government securities, where you'll notice that there's about 50 billion in treasury bills that were matured and are not renewed. The loan book has slightly decreased by just 1%, 1.4%, mainly due to major repayments that we saw at the beginning of the year as well. Overall, we will continue to focus on growing our funding base so that we can see an organic loan book growth while also focusing on our non-funded income. As mentioned, key ratios, return on average equity is good, 22.2%, up from 19.8% at the end of last year. And our return on average assets is at 4%, up from 3.5% at the end of last year. So overall, a good performance for us this first quarter. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So after the highlights of the financial performance, this is the time for the Q&A session. So if you have a question, you can drop it in the chat, or you can also raise your hand. Maybe to start, we have Simon Kamuzinzi, who have requested to have the highlights, if possible, in Kinyarwanda, so that he can be able to give the right information to the Kinyarwanda speakers.
Urakoze Simoni ku kibazo ubajije. Nk'uko twabitangiraho tubivuga, twishimiye kugaragaza ko BK Group nk'ikigo yabashije kugaragaza umusaruro ushimishije mu gihembwe cya mbere cy'umwaka wa 2023. Uwo musaruro warabonetse mu rwego rw'ubukungu, hakomeje kugaragara nabwo ukujya mbere ugereranyije n'agaciro k'ifaranga uburyo kagenda kazamuka ndetse n'ibiciro muri rusange, aho tubona ko bitangiye kugabanuka nk'uko byari byateganyijwe, biva kuri 18% bijya kuri 17%. Aho kandi tukabona ko mu bukungu muri rusange mu gihugu hari kugaragara ibikorwa bijyanye no kohereza ibicuruzwa mu mahanga, kuri twebwe bikatugaragarira nk'uri kubona amafaranga y'amadovize dushobora gucuruza. Ku rwego rwa BK Group tukaba tugifite umwanya wa mbere mu gucuruza amafaranga y'amadovize. Muri iki gihembwe cya mbere rero tukaba twishimiye ko BK Group nk'ikigo gihujemo n'ibigo bitanu cyabasha kugaragaza umusaruro mbumbe wa miliyari 17.9 y'amanyarwanda ari angana na miliyoni 13.2 y'amadolari. Bikaba bigaragaza rero ukwiyongera k'umusaruro ugereranyije n'igihembwe cya mbere cy'umwaka ushize cya 28% yose hamwe. Tukaba kandi tukomeje kugaragaza ko umusaruro ku mutungo bwite return on equity n'umusaruro ku ishoramari ryakozwe n'umusaruro ku mutungo wose dufite nabyo garagaje imibare ishimishije, aho ubona ko byiyongereye ugereranyije n'umwaka ushize ku migabane ya 4% ku mutungo wose na 22% ku ishoramari ryashyizwe mu kigo. Tukaba rero twishimiye kugaragaza ko mu micungire y'ikigo yaba ari ibijyanye n'ubwiza bw'umutungo dufite assets quality, byabijyanye n'ukwiyongera kw'inyungu profitability, hose hagaragaje imikurire ishimishije ijyanye n'umwaka ushize. Duva amagambo make n'icyo nabasha kugezaho twifuza gutangaza igihembwe cya mbere cy'umwaka wa 2023.
We have a question from Juma Frederick from Soko Directory, Kenya. He's asking, what operational adjustments is BK undertaking to stay on the growth curve? Then he has also a second question. He's asking, recently you went ham on mobile banking systems. How has upgrading impacted on operations?
Thank you, Juma, for that question. I'll start with the last one, mobile banking. Indeed, we launched our new mobile banking application, both on for smartphones and also for feature phones. And we keep seeing migration of clients from branch channels and agency banking channels to to self-service channels. And this is in line with our strategy, reducing our OPEX. As a result, we are closing a branch and to indicate that we really see the movement of people to digital channels. So that's one. And we've kept improving the experience on these channels, adding features. We added a loan management feature. We added a number of payment solutions, and people can now send money to China using Alipay from their app. So this is something that we'll continue doing, improving the experience, but also adding more features to our channels. The other question was. So we are focusing a lot on our non-funded income. I think traditionally, when you look at our non-funded ratio, it's been below benchmark banks in the region. And that's why we have a big focus on improving our payment facilities, repricing them, and improving the rationalizing sort of our payment channels, because we believe it's a very good source of non-funded revenue. And you can see also in the first quarter that we've seen a very high growth of our non-funded income, driven by, of course, loan fees, but also payment facility fees and FX fees. So I think the focus going forward will be to continue getting more non-funded and improving our non-funded ratio to more than 30%. I think this is our target for this year. I don't know if our CFO wants to add anything. Thank you.
This question is from Jackton Lawi from Radio Africa in Kenya. He's asking, what has been the performance on the digital platforms and how much has it contributed to the group's profit?
So as I say, what we see is clients moving to digital channels, and this means better operational efficiency. We'll continue seeing our improvement or reduction in our OPEX gradually This is a big focus for us, and we'll also continue seeing more people transacting on channels, which mean better fees for us. But also we believe it's going to be easier and cheaper for us to onboard more clients because we don't need to open branches and have more agents across the country, as people will be opening accounts and transacting digitally. So we hope, and this is a trend that we're seeing already, we've seen in the past couple of years, we have more than 80% of our clients transacting digitally. We want to push this to close to 100%, and we'll want to convert our branches into sales centers. We introduced a new branch model, and this past month we've opened 2 branches, not new branches, but relocated branches to business centers with a new model where we focus on sales as opposed to operations, because we want people to come to get advice. We want to sell more products as opposed to only trying cashing out. So that's what we're doing. We'll push by 2025. I think our target is to have 95% of our clients transacting digitally. As a group, we also want to enable them to get all services that the group offers on channels. That means insurance, investment, etc., beyond banking services. And this, we believe, is going to be achieved before the end of the current strategy, which is 2025. Thank you.
The next question is from Kelvin Majanga from BizWatch Kenya. He's asking, what are the anticipated growth sectors for the industry and for BK in the short to medium term?
Thank you, Kevin, for your question. When you look at the overall growth of the economy in the country where we are operating, we consider it is a good trend for agriculture and manufacturing, especially investing in the industries who are working on the manufacturing sector, where we see that there is a good also record for exporting such products. But we think that also on the other side, for BK Group, we have been working a lot with agricultural products, not just for the bank, but also for insurance products, where we see that for 3 of our subsidiaries, we find a big potential with investing in servicing the specific agricultural sector with digitalization of the services we have provided to more than just the clients who bank with us, but even up to the layer of the farmers who are on the field. If you would like to add something else, Diana.
Thank you. The next question is from Antoinette Ford from Tarifa News. He's asking, what is the outlook for the banking sector in Q2 and for the rest of the year?
Thank you, Tarifa, for that question. I think we remain upbeat. We believe, and we've seen other banks also publishing very encouraging results for the first quarter. We believe we'll continue seeing healthy growth, not only of profits, but of net loans, and we'll continue to see the banking sector financing the economy. What we're also seeing, as I said earlier, is that we see the trend to digital increasing, which is a good thing for the industry, and that means, in fine, lower OPEX, and if, of course, the macroeconomic conditions continue improving, we'll also see better lending rates for our clients. Thank you.
Is from Shadrach from the Times Kenya. He's asking if you can comment on the BK Arena partnership.
Thank you for that question. It's timely to ask that question, especially that we just finished BAL, which is Basketball Africa League, which was a huge success. And for us, for our brand being there, we believe it's quite significant. We are trying to appeal to Gen Z, the younger generation, because that place, BK Arena, is not only for sports, but also for entertainment. We've seen very good events happening there. We've seen Our sales increasing mainly. We have a prepaid card called BK Arena, and we've seen sales increasing there. But generally, I think our brand is becoming a brand that is appealing to the youth. As you know, Rwanda is a young country. I think we saw this from the latest census results. And we believe that banking the youth is banking the future. I don't know if our Group CEO wants to add something.
Another question from Jackton Lawi. What was the OPEX in the first quarter?
Thank you. Operating expenses were up 21.1 billion, which, as mentioned, was an increase of about 24% compared to the same quarter last year. As mentioned, mainly due to a number of activities that were going on, especially in our card business, as well as some staff-related increments, staff-related expenses. There were some increments there as well.
Two questions are from Mary-Ann Musilo from CEO Africa. She's asking, how has the SME Center impacted on performance? And then the second question is, did the Banking on Women campaign increase uptake of loans by women and women-owned businesses?
Thank you, Mary. I can see you're following what we're doing. We've actually seen very healthy, encouraging growth in our SME portfolio. But beyond the growth of net loans, we've seen a good trend of reducing NPL. So our NPL, before we started the implementation of the SME strategy, the NPL ratio for SMEs was above 20%. Maybe this was also linked to COVID. But as we speak, it has reduced to 12%, which is quite encouraging. And this is mainly because we have SME relationship managers who stay close to their clients, advising them and supporting them and being proactive in supporting them. So the performance of the SME department has improved, driven by increase in net loans, but also a sharp reduction in the NPL ratio. For Banking on Women, I think it's quite early. The campaign just started. We are also establishing a department in charge of women financing, women entrepreneurs. We are just appointing new staff there, and we believe we'll see sustained growth in the next couple of months, and we'll be happy to probably report something more positive as we publish the Q2 numbers. Thank you.
Diane, we have another question from Simon Kamuzinzi in Kinyarwanda. He's saying, ifuza ko BK CEO atunyuriramo muri make inyungu yabonetse n'icyo abanyamigabane bazabona. Atubwire n'inyungu beka izasaba abafata imyenda muri iki gihe, ese inflation nta ngaruka izagira kuri beka?
Murakoze Kamuzinzi ku kibazo ubajije. Nk'uko twabigaragaje mu gihembwe cya mbere cy'uyu mwaka 2023, inyungu yabaye miliyari 17.9 by'amafaranga y'amanyarwanda. Ni inyungu ishimishije kuko ugereranyije n'igihembwe cya mbere cy'umwaka ushize twabashije kwiyongera 28%. Bikaba bigaragaza rero ko ibikorwa bya beka bikomeje gukundwa n'abakiriya bacu kandi bikagaragaza umusaruro. Ku rwego rw'inyungu n'abashoramari, ubu nibwo tukimara kurangiza inama y'umwaka y'abashoramari yabaye muri uku kwezi, aho twagaragaje urwunguko ruhabwa abashoye imari muri BK. Tukaba twatanze dividend. N'ubundi rero gahunda niyo ngiyo, niyo komeza gutanga umusaruro ushimishije bitewe n'ibikorwa twabashije kugeraho, aho bitangwa buri mwaka. Mu mwaka ushize ayabashije gutangwa yaratangajwe mu gihe cy'iyo nama y'umwaka wose, with a payout ratio ishimishije. Tukaba twakwizeza rero ko uko urwunguko rwa buri gihembwe rugenda rugaragara, tukanarumenyekanisha, n'ubundi ku mpero z'umwaka zabasha kugaragariza urwunguko ruzahabwa abashoramari kandi rujyaniranye ni performance nicyo twagezeho gisumbye cy'umwaka ushize.
Ikindi kibazo cyari kijyanye n'inyungu BK izasaba abafata imyenda muri iki gihe.
Mu rwego rw'inyungu ngira ngo mwarabibonye ko muri imyaka 3 ishize nubwo hagiye abaho impinduka byaba ku rwego rw'icyorezo cya covid cyangwa se ku rwego rw'imihindagurikire ku isi y'ibicuruzwa naho byerekera, mwabashe kubona ko urwunguko ku nyungu rwabashe kuguma ruri hamwe, ntabwo rwajyaniranye n'izamuka ry'ibiciro. Ibyo bikaba biterwa rero nuko BK Group ifite strong performance, ifite ubushobozi bufatika bwo kuba bwabasha gutanga inguzanyo zifasha abantu kwizahura mu bukungu. Ikindi wenda nuko mwabashe kubibona ko urwunguko rucibwa ku nyungu rwanagabanyijwe ku bantu bagiye bagira ibibazo mu myaka ishize biciye mu kigega cyo kuzahura Economic Recovery Fund. Uyu munsi ukaba dufite NPL ratio ibigaragaza inguzanyo zishyurwa nabi kiri hasi cyane ya 2%, mu gihe ku isoko abenshi bagira 5% ndetse no hejuru y'aho ngaho. Nabyo bikaba bigaragaza ko BK ihari kugira ngo ifatikanye n'abakiriya bayo mu kwiteza imbere mu nguzanyo zifite ijanisha ku nyungu rishimishije, riri under control, riri ku murongo, ribasha kuba ryabagirira akamaro badahungabanyijwe n'ibihe biri hanze.
Ikibazo cya Simon yabazaga ese inflation nta ngaruka izagira kuri BK?
Inflation cyangwa izamuka ry'ibiciro navuga ko nkuko twabigaragajwe mu biherutse gutangazwa n'ikigo kibishinzwe ndetse na Central Bank, iki gihembwe cya mbere izamuka ry'ibiciro rigaragaza ukugabanuka. Ni ukuvuga ko mu gihembwe kibanza twari ku 19.8%, utwa turi 17.8%, ndetse twaba twabashije no kura tugasanga mu biciro by'ibicuruzwa nyirizina cyangwa se ibiribwa hari ibigenda bigabanya igiciro. Ni igikorwa cyiza, ni igikorwa gituma bitugaragaza ko umuntu wese ufite ubucuruzi cyangwa se ibikorwa bitandukanye akaba akorana natwe azabasha kurushaho kugira ubwisanzure mu byahaha, mu ishoramari akora cyangwa se mu bikorwa nyirizina by'ubucuruzi afite. Twavuga rero ko iyo trend cyangwa se uko kumanuka kwizamuka ry'ibiciro biri guhurira n'icyari giteganyijwe muri uyu mwaka wa 2023, bikaba kandi byo kugirira akamaro ari umukiriya wese wa BK ufite ibikorwa bitandukanye ko zafite ubushobozi bwo gukora ibyisumbuye kurusha mbere bitakimuhenze, kandi natwe ubwacu nk'ikigo bikaba byatugirira akamaro. Bityo rero iyi trend cyangwa se icyerekezo kizamuka ry'ibiciro bigenda bimanuka muri uyu mwaka nibyo kutugirira twese akamaro.
Thank you, Beata. The next question is from Shadrach Nyakoe. What is in store for BK customers in the next phases of the digital upgrade?
Thank you, Shadrach. I think this is a question I'm always very excited about. I think in the next months, not only with our clients see more features, for now people are able to see their loans, prepay their loans if they want, retail clients I mean, but we want them to also be able to access personal loans on channels, and this is something that our teams are working on and will deliver this year. Another thing, I spoke about the many payment solutions that we are offering. We had an integration with Alipay. People from China or sending money to China used to come to branches to send money to China. So now they can do this directly from their app. Something that I'm actually very excited about is that we are going to start now raising awareness, educating our clients using our channels, and we have a dedicated place for people to be able to get education, understand how they can finance they can manage their finances better. This is also going to come in the next couple of months. Something that we want to add is liability products, because we've been talking about assets, loans, but we also want our people to save easily. They should not be coming to a branch for them to get a term deposit or any other liability products. We want them to open savings accounts for their children, for themselves, term deposits, invests right on the apps or on channels. And this is something also our teams are working on, and we hope to deliver this year. I think I've answered the question.
Thank you very much. Simon Kamuzinzi is asking, mwakwizeza abakiriya bakeneye inguzanyo niba bazayibona kandi ihendutse?
Urakoze Kamuzinzi. Navugane n'ubundi ukurikije uburyo abantu bakenera inguzanyo kandi bakazitabira hano kuri BK tubasha kubaha inguzanyo ko babikeneye. Bityo nta mpungenge zihari ku bijyanye n'abakenera inguzanyo. Ikintu numva twagaraje abatse zaba zihendutse, igihari nuko BK uburyo itanga inguzanyo yabashe kuguma idahungabanyijwe n'izamuka ry'ibiciro. Ibyo nka mbona igikorwa gishimije mu myaka 3 dutekereza ko n'ubundi uburyo bwo guhereza inguzanyo abazikeneye burahari, burakomeje kandi mu giciro kiringaniye nk'icyo bagomeje kubona mu gihe gishize, bitewe n'impinduka zigenda ziba mu bukungu. Ariko umuntu akaba yamwizeza ko uwakenera inguzanyo arayibona, zirahari, kandi igiciro cyazo navuga ntikiraringaniye nta kukijyana uko byakabaye n'impinduka z'ubukungu bw'igihugu.
Thank you. We no longer have any question on the chat, so I think we can get close to the end of the press conference. We would like to invite BK Group CEO to give her closing remarks.
Thank you, Audrey. Thank you for attending this call. By concluding, just to like to keep expressing to you our commitment in providing great performance as BK Group. We have been talking about our journey in digitalization and making banking with us more convenient. We also expect to see our other subsidiaries following the path with providing digital solutions to you. We are glad to say that Bank of Kigali has been receiving the prestigious Global Award as the Best Bank 2023 for this year. We are committed to give you also some confidence with the certification have been received, as BK Tech House has been ISO certified for information security and for quality management during this quarter. Bank of Kigali has also been recertified for business continuity management system and for information security system. This is just to bring you some confidence and comfort in the way we work to be providing the highest satisfaction to our clientele, not just in terms of profitability for the shareholders, but also in terms of convenience with digital solutions to our clientele, but also in terms of confidence to the market for any threats we'll be facing. So we thank you for attending this call. Have a good day.